Hey everybody, welcome to our Diesel Dreamers team call. Today is April 10th, 2017, and we have a super exciting guest speaker all the way from Canada, Crystal Munegatto. So I'm really excited to welcome her to our team call. I did a call for her team last week and it was super fun. So I'm excited to hear her speak to all of you lovely, awesome coaches. But before we kick things off, I just wanted to give some shout outs to all the new coaches that are on our call tonight. Thank you for being on here with us and showing up, and it's really exciting to have you on. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. And just some little shout outs to all the Success Club earners. So if you don't know yet what Success Club is, it's just our kind of like incentives program and our benchmark of our business. So when you help people with a challenge pack, which is, getting them started with a fitness program and their Shakeology, you get Success Club points. So each program or Shakeology is 2 points. So these awesome coaches have helped a few people get started this month already. So Emily is at 8 points. I'm at 6. Alexis Warren is at 2. Crystal Langella, I hope I pronounced your last name right, she's at 2 also. Leslie's at 2. Maria Rodriguez is at 2. And Katie Janowski is at 4. So yay, congrats everybody. There's a super awesome, oh, you're at 6, Katie. Ooh, okay girl, I didn't update yet. Congrats. But there's a really cool incentive from Beachbody. They're giving everybody who earns at least 5 points, so you'd have to help 3 people this month, get a cool like Beachbody backpack. So it's really awesome that not only do we celebrate each other for our successes and recognize our hard work in helping others every single month, but Beachbody also does different prizes every month for earning Success Club. So make sure that if you don't know what Success Club is yet, plug into it, find out from our team page, find out from your sponsor, and this way we can pay it forward and help others each month, and this way you can be part of our incentives program and reaching those goals each month. But okay, let's kick it off. So Crystal Munegatto, she is from Canada, which is super exciting. She is a wife. She's a mom of 4, so she has a 10-year-old and 8-year-old, and then she has twins who are 2 years old. She started coaching when the twins were 4 months old. So props to you, girl, for getting started when your kiddos were super little. Mom of 4, like I can't imagine that craziness. I have 1 dog, and he is more than enough for me at the moment. So that's very admiring. She also works as a social worker. She is a 1-star qualifying coach. She is a Success Club All-Star, which means she's had at least 12 months consecutive in Success Club. So she's helped at least 3 people each month for the last 12 months or longer. So that is a huge, awesome recognition thing to earn through our company. So I'm just gonna pass it over to Crystal. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I'm excited to hear from you and what you have to share with us on the call.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I hope that what I can share, I find that every time I listen to a call or I do a training, I either hear, even one new thing that I can start applying in my business, or the thing that I also love is that I might hear the same things I've heard like 10 times, but it just confirms for me that there's not some like silver bullet out there that I'm missing. So I hope that that's what I can bring to you guys. So I'll elaborate just really quickly on my story, because I think that sometimes when you can identify yourself in someone else and then think, okay, well, that person has a similar story to me, it makes you feel hope, right? And the other part I want to link in, I'll link in later when I'm chatting. So I am not a PowerPoint. I am not the most organized person in the world. And so if you guys don't mind taking notes, that would be great. I do tend to kind of ramble and I'll try to tie everything kind of back in. But so as Paulina mentioned, I started the business 2 years ago when my twins were about 4 months old. It was a combination of me always having this interest in health and fitness, and obviously I'm a social worker, and so I had that kind of innate tendency and desire to help people. And I myself needed some help. I needed to get healthy. I wanted to not only lose that postpartum baby weight from a twin pregnancy, that I was still hanging on to about 25 pounds of it, but I was also hanging on to an additional 30 pounds from my first 2 kids that never went away. And so, I had no energy, both, because I was up all night with the twins, and just because I wasn't fit, I wasn't healthy, and I had never really found something that worked for me. So it was a double thing though, because, and please note this, I came into the business as a coach. So I came into it for the business opportunity, which I think, obviously it happens, but it's a lot less common. And so I'm going to tie that into later about posting about coaching, because I think that it's important, because not everyone is going to come from your challenge group and be a good coach. So anyways, I saw a girlfriend of mine from high school posting about the coaching, and, it wasn't anything kind of fancy that she was saying in those posts, but it caught my attention because the full-time position that I had to go back to in social work and healthcare was in acute psychiatry for adults. And it was the most stressful job I had ever been in. And, now I had 4 kids and I didn't want to go back to work full-time. And so I thought, okay, this is a perfect fit for me. It's health and wellness. It's helping people. It's work from home. It's a reputable company. I did know of Beachbody, so that was helpful. And I wanted it, and so I went for it. So that's how I came to be a coach 2 years ago. And I really have done not the power hour in a set hour, but I have done them in 10-minute snippets, posting here and messaging with people there. And I have been able to make it work in a very, very busy life. So I think that, some of the main things I'm going to talk about tonight, and then we can do a Q&A if there's something that I didn't talk about or that you're wondering about at the end, which I kind of find that the Q&A is often more valuable than anything else. So I'll try to get through, the content fairly quickly, but I'm going to focus a lot on consistency and on Facebook. And if I haven't gone on with that for too long, I'll also talk about how I form my messaging, because I do think that that is perhaps a stronger point for me. And so I'll give you my tips on that as well. So my main social media is Facebook. I have probably got 95% of my folks from there. And so I have been fairly consistent with my posting from the beginning, always aiming for that 3 to 5 posts a day like you hear about, and in a variety of the main things that I wanted to talk about. So I mix in my kids a little bit, but not a ton, because people want to see you more than anything else, and what you're up to and what you're wearing and how your hair is done. That's what people find the most interesting for sure. But I would blend in, recipes and fitness, of course, because that's part of what we do. And anything else that I found that kind of came my way that I thought would help other people. So historically, I have posted a lot of, inspirational quotes. I would share episodes from podcasts that I thought people would find valuable. I would share stuff like that. And so those things have been really consistent in my business from the beginning. And it's that, showing up day after day after day, that people understand that you have something valuable to offer them. And that I was also, of course, posting my success. So I definitely do have good transformation pictures and story, because I had lost 55 pounds. So I had lost that 25 pounds of postpartum weight, and plus the other 30. And so, I have really come into the best shape of my life. And so that was the great part of my story. But I didn't start with those first posts being that way. I started posting and I joined as a coach after I had really lost like the first 20 pounds. And then people were able to kind of continue with me from there and follow me along as my results got better and better. And so I did share my journey fairly openly and have continued to do that for the 2 years. I do also like to try and be real and be relatable. So for me in my life, I have dealt with anxiety forever, anxiety and panic attacks. And that's the kind of topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but 4 out of 5 people probably deal with on some level. And so being open about that part of my journey and how much I'm passionate about the program for sure, because the healthier I got, the more that I, fueled my body properly, and the more that I had my fitness on track, and the more that I fed my brain, the personal development, the more and more I got my anxiety under control. And so I try to be real about talking about that. I don't talk about it all the time, but I do add it into my posts once in a while so that people understand that this is not just about a physical journey, but that it's very much a mental journey. The other thing that I sometimes add into my more vulnerable posts is the fact that I have a hormonal disorder, and that when you take care of your body, that you can actually improve that. So for me, it's PCOS to the point that, I don't have the symptoms of that anymore. And so again, that's being vulnerable and sharing my story kind of, in breadcrumbs, so that someone who's experiencing that same kind of thing knows that they can reach out to me. So the majority of the reaching out that I get is for weight loss and is for mental health related issues, anxiety and depression. So those have been huge for me, and being willing to talk about that I am very careful about not being negative. I'm not a sunshine and roses all the time kind of person either. But if I'm going to talk about something like anxiety or something that hasn't gone well in my day, I will put a positive spin on it, or a learning type of moment into the post, because I feel like there is more than enough negativity on Facebook, and I want to be that light for someone. And so that is how I craft my posts and the kinds of things that I talk about. I also try to offer value and give education. And so, like I say, I've done lots of recipes. That's always been a go-to because people love that kind of thing. People, I think it's coming more and more, but a lot of people, when they know that they have to start changing their food to change their body, but they don't know where to go. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to do it. I think something that has worked well for my market, because my market is definitely moms, and something that has worked well for me, I think, is the fact that people look at it like, okay, well, if she has 4 kids and she works almost full time and she's able to come up with healthy solutions for the whole family to eat, then I think that inspires them to be able to do the same. And so I will also share posts about some, great easy item that I found at the grocery store, or, I'm making the kids dessert, and so I've got a plate with strawberries on it. And I don't know if you guys have it down there. We have different stuff up here, but it's called Cocoa Whip. So it's a non-dairy. Anyways. And so when I share stuff like that, I never say where I got it from. And I'm always kind of vague, right? So whenever I post, I'm always trying to create curiosity, because I want people to comment below, right? Because when people comment, of course, the way that the Facebook algorithm works is that Facebook goes, oh, this post has a bunch of likes and comments. I'm going to put it out to more people's newsfeed. It must be something valuable that maybe a whole bunch of people want to see. And so I'm always doing that. I'm always trying to get someone to say, hey, Crystal, where did you get that? Did the kids like it? Or whatever their comment is going to be, I'm always posting to encourage comments. The other thing that I will often do is I will tag someone in the post if I can. So sometimes it'll just be my husband, right? That's an easy tag if it's a post about our kids or something like that. But for example, the other day, my son plays rep hockey, and so we were away in a hotel, and there were other moms from the team there, obviously. And one of the moms is in a challenge group that I'm in, and it was true, right? I always try to be genuine and true in my posts. And I saw her picture, and she was, downstairs in the hotel gym. And so when I went down there later and did my workout, I tagged her and thanked her for the inspiration in my workout, because then, of course, that post, and she's not a coach yet. If she was a coach, maybe I would have worded the post differently, but now that post is going in her news feed, which brings more eyes to me and to her, so that maybe someone will say to her, hey, what are you doing? Or someone will then click on my name, who's friends with her, and be like, who is this woman, and why is she tagging her, and what the hell are these women up to? So I try to do stuff like that. The more that you can get your content spread out, of course, the better. And again, with sharing recipes, me posting recipes, people will share that. And the more that your stuff gets shared and your name is on the top of it, the better, because the more that the more that's going to bring eyes back onto you. I also make all of my posts public. That's important, because I have had someone, when I say to them later after they've come to me, say, I've said, how did you find me? And they would say, oh, I searched Beachbody Coach Kamloops. That's the city that I live in. And so my stuff would come up. And of course, if it wasn't public, then they wouldn't have been able to find me that way. And people creep, right? Like, people creep all the time. And so if you have good content that they can come over and see, then they're more likely to reach out and, because they've seen all these posts about what you've done, and think that, hopefully you can help them get started. The other thing about being consistent, of course, is that a lot of people are going to watch you for a long time before they commit. I have had people say to me, I had someone tell me that not only did she watch me for a year, but she had it so that, I was one of her favorites, or however you said it in Facebook, so that when she went onto her news feed, my posts would come up first. And it took her a year to join me. And so I think that, when you're not consistent, people are like, oh, well, she shows up sometimes, and is she still doing it? Or, you have to sort of show that social proof, right? That you are doing this, and that you are showing up every day, and that you're not going anywhere, that that you're not going to be that coach who's here today and gone tomorrow, because no one wants to lock arms with that kind of person. The other thing that I like to do is, as long as they're okay with it, is to share success stories. That is huge. And I was listening to this, I read this article the other day, and it was from some, marketing person about the millennial generation, and that for them, it's all about social proof. And, that is something, thankfully, that I have done off and on from the beginning, is that once in a while, not only do I share my own transformation pictures, but I will share pictures of the challengers from our team who have had success as well. And so I think that that's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, it proves that it's not just Crystal who was somehow magically able to get these great results from whatever the heck it is she's doing, but now this person who maybe has a background similar to them was also able to get results. And then, oh, look, now she's posting about this man who was able to get these results. And now, oh, it's this older woman. And wow, look at all these different people having huge success with whatever it is that she's up to. So I think it's important for that reason. The other reason why I think it's important is because in people's minds, even though, as we know, we're just kind of beside them for the journey and we're more like accountability partners, but in people's minds, it's, oh, Crystal has helped them. Crystal's getting them success, right? I think that that's kind of what people see. And so they see both of those two things, which are really, really important, that you're providing that proof, not just that it's worked for you, but that it's worked for other people and that you are helping these people get that success. Along the lines of creating curiosity, and different people are going to have different opinions about this, but I'm here today to give you my opinions. In the beginning, I think, back 2 years ago, I would sometimes do like hashtag 21 day fix or hashtag Beachbody. For me, what I found is that, later down the road, I would chat with someone in Messenger or something, or I'd see them out and they'd be like, yeah, I'm doing 21 day fix. And I would know that they did it because of me, but they bought it off Amazon or whatever, which is upsetting, right? You think, oh, well, you were watching me and you knew that that's what I was doing. And so you went out and got it. And so I no longer do that. I'm sure most of my warm market for sure, if not other people, have figured out that I'm a Beachbody coach and that that's what I'm doing. But I want people to have to message me and ask me. So if I'm, doing the latest program that's been released, like if I'm doing Core de Force and I've posted a video and I'm, going for it, I want them to have to message me and say, hey, Crystal, what program are you doing right now? Instead of me saying hashtag Core de Force and then going to, Amazon or somewhere else and buying it from there. So that's what I have found that I have had the most success with, because as soon as they message me, it's on, right? Like that's the green light to have that conversation and for me to bring them into my circle. And the reason why I feel it's not just about me making the sale, right? It's not about that. It's about me being able to bring them in, give them that challenge group, community of support, the tips, the answering their questions. So a couple of things happen, or a few things can happen. Number one, the most important thing, they get the best results possible and they change their lives, right? Number one. Number two, they aren't that person out there saying 21 day fix doesn't work. Because that can happen, right? Someone goes out and they buy it off somewhere else and they don't have any support and they don't ever really kind of get it going. And that just spreads, negative, a negative vibe or negative feedback about our programs, which we know are life-changing. The other thing, of course, that can happen, and I'll talk more about coaching in a minute, but is that if I bring someone in, and I historically have brought anyone in, no matter where they've come from, whether they bought from me, whether they already had P90X from years ago, whether they did pick it up on Amazon, I will say, oh, absolutely, come into my group, because I really do want to help people. And because later on that person, you help them get success, they could become a coach, right? So that is what I have always done. And that is always what I have suggested to my team, is just bring the people in, give as much as you can, within reason. The more that people get results, the more your business is going to grow because of it, down the road, even if it doesn't seem like it in the moment. Other top coaches would say, no, challenge packs only. That's just my opinion. Another thing that I have done is free groups. Free groups have definitely been good for me. So I'll post, a post of, I've got this, 1 week of, in the beginning, I used to do more clean eating, that kind of stuff. I've done like crock pot. I've done like healthy Christmas baking. I've done vision board groups. I've done quite a few different things. The recipe ones are always very, very popular. And for me, that's really just, you know, creating that funnel, right? So it's bringing more people to me. It's getting their eyes on me. It's providing them with value. And then it's having conversations with them in the background, right? So I always say to my team, there's really two core components of what we do. One is the upfront that everybody sees, which is the posting, and the other is the behind the scenes, and it's the messaging. If you never get to the point of messaging, it's going to be rough, right? It's going to be a really slow grow. You have to have those conversations. You have to build those relationships for sure. So free groups has been a way that I have been able to, like I say, just even expand my net even further and get more relationships built that eventually do often lead to challenge packs, whether that's in the month that I do the group or if it's 6 months later. You know, you have to always keep in mind that this is a long-term game. This isn't, I'm going to make, you know, $2,000 this month. It's the long-term, having that long-term vision, be here in a year. That is just also critical. I have been fortunate in that from the beginning, I have had a lot of people come to me from my posts and from my consistency of my posts. You know, very much kind of that jab, right hook kind of setup where I'm giving subtle hints and creating curiosity about what I'm doing, and then doing that right hook where I'll do a post that basically says, hey, you know, you want into my group, and I'll give kind of the outline of what it will entail without saying, you know, we are doing 21-day fix. And I also try to connect in my posts that speaks to someone's emotion. I think that when I can bring people to me on an emotional level, that is what will hit them harder to make them want to change. So if I will say, you know, in my post something like, you know, 2 years ago, I was drowning, you know, experiencing so much anxiety and just having no energy to be with my kids. And I just didn't want to feel that way anymore. And so I started this, you know, program of healthy eating and exercise. And now I'm able to do this, this, and this, and I feel so much better. So when you can craft your post in a way that someone identifies with that emotional feeling. So for me, if I'm posting about anxiety, any of you on here who have experienced anxiety or panic attacks, if you hear me talk about anxiety and panic, you get that feeling inside of, I would do anything to make that stop, right? And so I think that it's connecting with people with that emotion that makes them want what you have to offer. It makes them realize that you have a solution to that focused problem, and that you know, they're much more likely to reach out to you and to go for it. The other thing that I have found successful is, you know, in just more of a, you know, lifestyle type post, or, you know, a post that I'm doing about my kids or what have you, is to ask a question. So when you do a post and, you know, at the top, I'm very focused with my team on giving suggestions about how to structure your post. And so my recommendation to my team is always, you know, do the top 2 lines max, whether it asks a question or it, you know, says something that makes people interested and hooks them in from the get-go. And then, oh, sorry, I better plug my phone in. And then craft your post from there in a way that has great spacing. So I don't know about you guys, but if I come across a post that someone's done, I saw this post the other day, and this woman who I'm Facebook friends with was really going into something deep about her life and what was going on. And I'm just going to be brutally honest. It was like this long, it was just on and on and on and on and on about what she was going through. And there were no spaces. I did not read it. I didn't. It is just too unappealing because your brain has to work harder to kind of stay on track. And we don't have that kind of attention span anymore in this day and age. And so I really recommend that you be careful about your spacing. Keep your first line, that hook line, short. Add an emoji at the end of it, and then keep all the rest of your paragraphs concise, like 3 to 4 lines to a paragraph max. Because otherwise, like if people have to click on that more button, you need to have laid it out in a way that is visually appealing for their eye to continue. And you need to lay it out in a way that makes them want to read more. So you have to really make that first part attention grabbing. And the emojis help with that. They've done lots of studies, as long as you don't go crazy with the emojis, but adding an emoji will help catch their eye and make them actually want to read what you have to say. And along those lines, my recommendation is that the more, and I know this sounds funny, but the more pictures of you, the better. So like today I saw one of my coaches, she did this great post, and it was like this great post with a very standard quote. And I was like, good post, but not great post. So really what people want to see, like I say, is you, like your own reality TV show with a positive spin on it. And they want to see what you're up to. Like, is it your sweaty, post-workout selfie? Is it that you're getting ready to go to work? Is it that, you've got a new pair of glasses? Is it that your hair is curled today? That's just kind of the truth. People are interested in seeing what you are doing and what you have going on in your life, and that's what they tune in for. And I'm not saying, and historically I did use inspirational quotes, and I think that in general it worked for me. But now if I was to do a quote, I would either do the quote maybe like in the picture beside me, or I would do it at the top of my text and the picture is just me. I think that is more likely to catch someone's eye than just a stock quote from Pinterest or wherever. Humor is always a good one. People like to be entertained. That's sort of part of what Facebook is, for sure. I see these women on my Facebook, and they're just like, their posts are just entertaining, and I want them to become coaches on my team. So believe me, I have their names written down, because those are the kind, like, I want to see their posts every day. I want to go and read their, hi, I'm in the middle of my phone. I want to see what they're up to. So humor is a good one. Entertaining people is very good. The other part of it, of course, that we never can lose sight of is being interested. So as much as we like to be interesting, and that is important, right? If you're trying to draw this attention to you, you want to have something going on that people want to hear. But what's probably more important is being interested. So it's liking and commenting. I mean, I know you guys have heard this stuff, but it's just so true. You got to like and comment on people's stuff. Number one, and be genuine, of course, is to know that, for them to know that you care. Everybody posts stuff on Facebook because they want a reaction. If they didn't want a reaction, they wouldn't post it. And so that is just so critical. So if someone sees that you are showing up and that you're taking the time to like and comment on their stuff, then they start to understand that you care. And then that helps them know that you're interested in them. And then they, of course, naturally become more interested in you. The other key to that, of course, is that Facebook says, oh, these two are clearly friends. Out of their 500 people, I'm going to show Paulina more of Crystal's stuff, because not only are they liking and commenting on each other's stuff, but they're messaging too. So you have to start friendly conversations with people in Messenger. If you're running your free group and it's in Facebook, then Facebook is like, oh, they're liking and commenting on each other's stuff. They're messaging in Messenger. They're in groups together. These two must really like each other. And so Facebook is going to put more of Paulina's content into my newsfeed. So when it's, 9 o'clock at night and I'm scrolling through my newsfeed, I'm going to see this lovely Paulina in her work. Oh, she's working out. She's got all this stuff going on, and it's going to make me really interested, right? So one, it's making her interested. Two, when you're in Messenger and you're building that relationship and you're talking about, oh, I saw that photo of your dog, whatever's genuine. I saw that photo of your dog and I'm thinking about getting a dog. What kind of dog is it? Then later on, when you go into the invite, they've already seen. They're already interested. They've already seen that you have something going on, right? Because you two are buddies, Facebook keeps showing them all of your content. So that is really how the Facebook algorithm works. And so the more that you are able to work it that way, the better. So of course, how do you kind of figure out who you're going to keep tabs on? You have to come up with a great tracker system. And I say that as if I'm saying it to myself, because I'm the most unorganized, but I'm really working on getting better at having a tracker. Or some people create those Facebook interest lists. Do not go into your news feed and just waste time scrolling. That is not going to be effective, and that's not going to build you a business. You want to have your list of people who you are focused on building your relationships with, and come and check in on them regularly and like and comment and message with them. It's all about relationship building, of course. That is absolutely the most critical. So when you are messaging with them, again, another reason why you've got to stay consistent is because if you invite them to something, whether it's challenge group or it's coaching, and then all of a sudden you stop posting about it, when normally if you stayed consistent and they became interested, 3 months down the road, if you have, failed to keep showing up every day, chances are they are not going to come back around to you. Okay, the other thing that I want to talk about, and like I said, I was going to relate it back to the beginning of my story, is that I came into this business for the business, and everything about it made sense to me, and I wanted that opportunity in my life. And if you don't post about it, you will not get people for it. So I want you to learn from my mistakes. Regardless of the fact that I came into this business because of a post she was doing, it took me a very long time to get comfortable with posting about coaching. So what has that meant for my business? Well, for a long time, the coaching was a very slow grow for me for the first year or more. I started getting a little bit better in my second year of coaching, and my team started to grow a little bit. In the last 6 months, I have really started to focus on posting about coaching. And when I say posting about coaching, I mean things like anything. So I did a live video on my business Facebook page. I'm not even going to get into that because that's a whole nother beast and I'm just trying to work it out. But you could do this on your personal. I did a video and I tied it into a quote about, what was the quote? It's awkward before it's elegant or whatever. And I tied it into how that quote spoke to me on a lot of different levels. And here I am now 2 years in, and I'm about to do a call for another team, and I've never done that before. And how you grow. And I talked about the fitness journey, whatever, right? Like, talk about what's going on in your life that relates it to coaching. Be passionate about the coaching. You know how much the coaching changes lives, and don't live in fear. I lived in fear for the first year to 18 months of my business, and it has only hurt me. It has only held back that opportunity from other people. And so let me tell you, now that I have focused these last 6 months on coaching and posting about coaching and how much I love it and what I have going on, anything from, how our team was together for Super Saturday, to we got tank tops made, to here I am, it's my call and I'm about to connect with all these amazing people and I'm growing. Whatever it is that speaks to you, post about it, because people are watching. People want a piece of that. They want anything from the opportunity to inspire others, to be able to work their day job less or to go full time or whatever it is, to have the community, to have the income, whatever it is, right? You breadcrumb it all. But in these last 6 months, my team has grown more than ever before. So it just is true. It's just true. And if I would have listened from the beginning, and if I would have had the courage to really go for it and post about it all from the beginning, I'm sure I would have been a lot farther along than I am now. Not that I'm upset about where I'm at. Our team is doing well and it's great. But the slow grow is painful, right? So that is my best advice. If you want to grow a team, and maybe you don't, right? I always talk to my team in a way like I assume that you want to grow a team. If you want to grow a team of coaches, you've got to post about it. You've got to post about it, and then you got to invite them. You got to talk about it, and you got to have passion, and you got to create excitement. I try to be excited in my posts and in my videos. People are attracted to passion and to excitement because that's usually what people want to add to their lives. So that is my best advice, is post about what you want. If you really just want challengers and that's where you're at, that's fine. If you're like me and like Paulina, and you want to grow a team and you want to help people achieve their goals, and you want people to understand how much your community and your tribe is changing your life, you got to post about it. I'm shocked. I'm like, oh, this person's now interested, and why is this happening? And I'm like, oh, right. It's because I've been posting about it a ton. Oh yeah, live videos. I'm sure you guys know live videos are key. Facebook wants to challenge YouTube and whatever. They want to make videos huge. So doing live videos is critical, in my opinion, for your growth and for your exposure, because they're going to push it out to more people because they want videos to be their thing as well. And so whether it's a live video about something that you have as a tip, like you're in your kitchen and you're making a meal and you just want to give a tip, do it about that. If you have a challenge group coming up, or you have a coach sneak peek coming up, post about that. Another thing I have found successful is again, posting about our team. I will post success stories, not just recognition of the coaches, but, like I say, the fact that we were getting our tank tops made, that was very cool. Or if we've done events together, and not all of my coaches are local, but just posting about the fact that, we're growing and that we are this community. People want to be a part of that. So share those success stories, share that you guys have that community and that people can join that. Share about, like, even if sometimes my coaches will share a post about an income, and I'll kind of trickle that into my post too, right? Like, different people have different things that they want from this opportunity, and so you kind of got to touch a little bit on all different aspects of what they might be looking for. But yeah, that has been huge for me lately, is posting about the excitement of the coaching opportunity. And sometimes what I'll do is, when I'm with another coach or a few of the coaches, is we'll do a live video together. Like I say, for my coaches who are local, because people kind of like that. And then it's like, oh, well, what's the dynamic between the two of them or between the four of them? And it just kind of reaffirms that it is more than just me. It is this community. And I don't know, we just get excited, and people see the passion between us, and that's kind of contagious, right? And people want to kind of get in on that. So that might be it. I know I ramble a lot, but hopefully I tied it in somewhat. And I can talk about how I kind of transition and how I form my conversations in Messenger, or I can do Q&A. I don't even know what time we're at, but whatever you guys want.
I just want to jump in and say that was amazing. I took 2 pages front and back worth of notes. And I just wanted to like touch on a few things that you mentioned that like stood out to me that I highlighted, not like highlighted everything. But you said that when you were like looking at your coach and her posts and she was consistent, she was just really relatable, and she didn't post anything super special. It's not like she posted like, oh, I'm in the Millionaires Club or something like extreme and like extravagant. She was just being normal and relatable, and you connected with her. And I think that a lot of us think that we can't really talk about coaching or what we do as coaches because we don't have any like quote unquote success or like big success. And that's so false. Like we have to really just be relatable, be real, be raw, and share the little things, like talking about your journey from the start and not having to wait for you to get to your ultimate goal, whether it's in your fitness or in your business, to talk about it. Like you have to be talking about your journey from the beginning, and be just honest and sharing, because that's what people are going to connect to and relate with. I love how you talked about just working in those little like 10-minute pockets each day, like fitting it in when you could. Like obviously you're a busy mom, you're a working mom, you have 4 kiddos at home, and I'm sure with like just school and extracurricular activities and other things, like you're running around the place all the time, but you still decided to start your own business, and you're working at it, you're building your team, you're seeing success. Like that's so amazing. And I think a lot of us assume that in order to do this, like you have to be doing it full time or having like lots of hours free, but it's not. Like you can fit in whenever you want to, but you just have to be very consistent, like you said, and just make the decision that like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it my all when I have those 10 minutes break, or I have 30 minutes here or 20 minutes there, whatever. As far as like social media and just having that presence, branding yourself, providing lots of value, because that's what people want, that's what they're looking for. Being open and vulnerable about the things that you struggle with, and always putting a positive spin or sharing how you overcome it, so that way someone who might be struggling with the same thing or something similar, they know that they can look to you for inspiration. They know that if you got through it, then they can get through it. That's like huge. Educating people, so being resourceful, like you said, even just simply sharing a podcast that helped you or like gave you some tips or advice. People need that kind of stuff in their life, and if you can give it to them for free, it's not like you're telling them like go to Google and search this or whatever. Like you're giving them the direct link, whatever, super quick, super easy. And that's going to give them that value, and they're going to remember you for giving them that value, like sharing a recipe, sharing a tip, sharing whatever. Like, and you have Google and YouTube and all these resources that make it super easy. You don't have to come up with this huge extravagant meal plan or podcast. Like you can just share somebody else's stuff that you found valuable, and people are going to remember that. I loved when you said create curiosity. That is so cool. And I've never heard anyone like say it that way, but not giving them all the details up front, not saying it's a 21 day fix or saying quarter force or even like Shakeology, like wording it as like a superfood shake, like having them come to you and asking you questions or trying to be curious and figure out, okay, what is she up to? What is she doing? Coming to you for more information, because that is awesome. You're right. Like a lot of people will just Google like 21 day fix or search on Amazon or wherever, and they don't realize that they can come to you. But if you're not giving them all the details up front, then they're going to be curious and want to ask you for that. So that's awesome. Having share-worthy content, social proof, Through your consistency, it's going to build that trust and credibility. Sharing results and recognizing your challengers, your coaches, that's awesome. Long-term game, like you said, be here a year from now. I couldn't agree with you more. This is a business. It's not going to happen overnight, like anything. Speaking to people's emotions and connecting with them like on a deeper level. Being interested in them, so liking and commenting on their stuff, creating that that connection, not just on their page publicly, but also privately through messaging. And how you said that people post stuff for a reaction. We don't really ever I've never thought of it that way because like I work through social media, so I know that I'm doing it, but I don't realize like other people do that for that reason too. Like people do want that attention. They want a comment or a post. They want to like they want you to say like, oh yeah, me too, girl. Like whatever it is that they're posting, or even if it's a funny meme, just like saying LOL. People
couldn't post it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're posting it for something, some kind of reaction from people. So give that to them, you know. Let you be that friend that's coming to them and sharing their post or liking it or commenting. And posting about the business if you want to build a business. That self-explanatory. Does anybody have any specific questions for Crystal? Any comments on all the stuff that she talked about? If you're shy, you can post it in the chat box or just unmute yourself and ask away. Anybody? Well, you did fantastic, so that's why I guess nobody has any questions.
Thanks.
But I guess maybe, let me think of a question. So you came in for the business. Was there a specific goal that you wanted to attain? Or like what's your maybe like 1 year vision from now where you're looking to get out of this business? Or even like 5 years from now, what do you hope to do with Beachbody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I realized I didn't finish that thought, which is not shocking for me. But when I mentioned that I was in that really stressful position at the hospital that I did not want to go back to, when I started when the twins were 4 months old, that was my goal, was to not go back to that full-time line and to go into another position that was part-time. It was supposed to be 3 days a week. It became 4. But anyways, so financially, I was able to do that. So I was able to achieve that goal within the first, 9 months or 8 months or whatever it was. So that was huge. I'm at the point right now where and I want to be real, like the first year is so hard. The second year is challenging too. But now it's like, and I never thought about quitting, like bye, see you later. But because life was so insane, there were a lot of moments where I thought about just pulling back. Well, I'll just pull back. I'll just, I'll post a little bit and let people come to me. Because at times I just felt overwhelmed. So if you have a moment where you feel overwhelmed, hopefully you will come back and remember me saying to keep going because it is so worth it. I see, and I've had lots of shit happen, right? Like I've had coaches quit. I had a coach quit the other day who was a good coach, and she was at about that 7-month mark, but all of a sudden it wasn't as easy for her anymore. And she quit. And I was like, oh, you just don't get it. Like you were so close to it becoming great. And so for me, I'm so glad that I stuck it out and I didn't pull back. Because now, like I say, I don't want to say it's getting easier, but it's like going to school, right? Like you figure it out. And like I say, in the last 6 months, I figured out, oh, okay, man, I really love coaching. So how about I start talking about that more? And now I'm seeing my team grow more. And so now it's getting better. I have a lot more people coming to me about coaching. And so financially, it's obviously getting better. But I love the success stories that have come, and that part never goes away, right? And so I think that that's also part of what has kept me hooked in, is that when someone messages me, like the message I got, was it last night or the night before, from one of my newest challengers, and she has a significant weight loss goal. And when that person messages you and basically is telling you that she's crying as she's typing it because she was able to fit into the clothes that she wasn't able to wear for months, and that she feels better than she's ever felt, and that there's hope for her, that part never goes away. So thank God I didn't pull back, because if I would have pulled back, she never would have come into my life. And she's just an example of one. You know, I have to say I'm so grateful that I have been able to significantly help a lot of people. I don't do the work for them, but because I didn't quit and I didn't pull back, they were able to come to me, and like I've been able to help people lose 80 pounds, 50 pounds, the last 10 pounds. But I have been able to help people get over their anxiety, their depression, their feeling lost, their loss of a role as a mom. All of that stuff is huge, right? And I'll chat with my team, and everybody just kind of gets it, right? Leaving that legacy and finding your purpose and your passion, that stuff is just invaluable. So that part is huge. And then, yes, there is a financial goal for me. I have pretty much matched my income at my government job that pays quite well. So that is exciting. So in another year from now, I do plan to leave my job. So that's huge. That's huge for my family. That's huge for me. That's huge for my 4 kids. And I think that you have to, in those days where I was like, I don't know. Then of course you dig into the personal development, but you have to have that long-term vision. Like when my coach quit the other day, I was just like, wow, I'm not worried about me. I'm going to keep going. And, you know, I'm about to sign another 2 coaches, and it's not that, I'm worried about me and my business growing. It's that I know the potential she has, and what now, unfortunately, she's not going to get to achieve, that I truly, truly believe she would have achieved if she would have stayed and continued to work at it. So have that long-term vision, because the short term, you got to work, you got to grow, you got to build, you got to do what you got to do every day if you want it to come.
Yeah, spot on. Definitely.
And I'm Success Club 10 average, right? Like that's probably my average. I'm not like some huge, like I think the most I've ever done is 26, which was like a huge month, right? But stay consistent. You want to grow it a little slower, stay consistent with your Success Club 5. You want to grow more of a business, then you're aiming for 10. I mean, they figured out those numbers for a reason. I'm sure you've heard it before, but man, is it true? Because the person that I signed up as a discount coach a year and a half ago, you know, like I've had one go diamond. After she decided to work the business a year and a half later, she did it in 2 months. Like, you don't know I never knew she would do that. Never could have predicted that. But that person from a year and a half ago, all of a sudden, you know, she gets it and she's running with it. And then I've had, you know, I've gotten my spouse's account to diamond. They're on the same leg, but you don't know when it's going to come, but you have to have faith that if you keep hitting your goals, that it's going to come.
Yes, definitely keeping that faith, keeping that belief, like you said, that long-term vision, because you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There's people that are watching you, like you said, who you have no idea that they're seeing your stuff, that they're interested. But one day, something you're going to say, or maybe you're going to reach out to them in a message, and they're going to get it. It's going to click. They're going to want to join you in your challenge group. They're going to want to join you on the team. But if you're not showing up, then they're not going to show up either. They're not going to be there to say yes to the opportunity, to say yes to your challenge group invite. So just having faith, having vision, plugging in each day, however much time and effort you can put into it, do it. Don't lose hope in it. days will get overwhelming, but just figure it out. Like, if you know what your goal is a year from now, 5 years from now, and what this business can give you and your family, and creating that legacy of changing lives on a deeper level, not just like doing something for yourself, but really paying it forward and having an impact on others, like that is so worth it. Like she said, getting that message from somebody and them telling you like, thank you so much, like you've helped me, like that is worth way more than anything else that I could ever get out of this. And that's why I show up every day, because I know that I'm looking for that one person that I can help today. Like who can I inspire? Who can I motivate? Whose life can I change? And when you are connected with that purpose, like that's going to drive you to show up every single day. So definitely dig deep and stay connected with our mission and our purpose as a company, as a team, as a community. And yeah, like you guys showed up on this call, so there's a reason why you're here, right? So don't forget about that. Keep that, in the forefront of your mind. And this was amazing. I'll give another last call for questions if you guys have any, because I know it's getting kind of late and I don't want to keep you too long from your kiddos. But does anyone have any questions or want to say any comments for Crystal? Like I said, I took tons of notes. I love the call. Thank you so much. It was great. And I've been doing this for 4 years now, and it's amazing that I could still learn from other people and hear something different or hear something said a different way that like stood out to me. So you rock through.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I don't think we have any questions, so we'll wrap it up. But we'll take, oh yay, Sam. She said this is a great call. I really need this. Social media is a struggle. Yeah, and I mean, we all start that way. Like, I didn't start off with like 5,000 friends on Facebook. Like, I built that up each day, like adding a few people here, adding people there. And the more you do it, the more you get uncomfortable with getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, it's going to come more naturally. So just keep at it, stay consistent. You're going to get better. Some posts, are going to suck. That's natural. Like, but you fail forward. You learn how to speak more genuinely, because like she said, you want to brand yourself, you want to be yourself, not try to be like anybody else, not like the other coaches. Just finding your voice on social media is key, and there's tons of resources on YouTube, how to brand yourself, how to improve your social media, how to stand out. So definitely look into that, and yeah, just like you'll fail forward and figure it out. Oh no, I think we lost Crystal. Oh, she's there. Oh, we lost you for a second. But yeah, biggest takeaway was be interested and be interested. Yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna take a little screenshot. So everybody smile, look at the camera and smile. We're gonna take a picture. Let me take another one just in case. Hold on. I'll take one on my phone too, because I did one once my last call, and then I realized that the speaker's eyes were closed because she blinked. So I want to make sure that we get a good one. Ready? Cheese. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you, Crystal, once again. This was an amazing call. Now go out there and kick some butt, and let's change some lives. All right, team? Bye.